Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say Ka Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect, pushing His word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. I'm going to make this video based upon patience and how valuable patience really is. And I know all brothers understand how valuable patience is, but this is just my thoughts on it. Because that's something that I personally ask for every single day. Not saying no other brother does that, but I'm just talking about myself right now. So I got a couple scriptures I want to read based upon patience here. So I'm gonna start with, because you know what, patience is something that we all we all need to deal with when it comes to this wicked world. Your woman and even yourself, right? So this is Romans 8:25. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together unto now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit. That's right, because that's talking about the elect. Because, the whole world, if you can, all you got to do is turn on your TV and look at what's going on in the world today. And you'll see that the whole world is groaning, right? They're groaning and they're travailing, right? With all the wars, this whole COVID-19 crisis, the bombings, the police brutality. So this whole earth, everything that's been created is groaning, and that's because the wicked are in rulership, which is so-called white people. All right, I say so-called because your true nationality is Edomites, according to the Bible. Esau, that's where you come from. So, and then it says, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit. And we have the first fruits of the Spirit. Lord willing, we have the elect. The elect have the first fruit of the Spirit, which would be the first blessing, right? Which is really, if I'm not mistaken, is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. But truly, I guess in more simple terms, that would be the faith. Absolute faith in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is to even unto death, right? Because not a lot of people have that. That's a gift. Faith is a gift, right? A small portion of the world has 1% of Israel has faith in the Most High. 1% of Israel, right? So you could imagine how small that number would be if we compare it to the rest of the world. That's a special thing, right? And then it says, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our bodies. That's right, man. That's why I said earlier, you also need patience for yourself, because you're in these bodies, these wicked, decrepit bodies that are constantly, telling you to do things that are contrary to the law, right? And your spirit is fighting because it wants to do things that are of the law. It wants to be righteous. So that's a continual battle, struggle between the spirit and the flesh, right? That's why the scriptures refers our bodies to being dark chains of darkness, or dark vessels or chains of darkness. Slake, chains of darkness, right? You know what? I'll get that too real quick, and we'll come back to this, just for edification's sake. Jude. Verse 6, Jude 6, or Jude 1 and 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Those chains of everlasting darkness are our bodies, right? Because it's a continual back and forth fight, a struggle, right? So going back to the scriptures, going back to Romans 8:25, for we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. That's right, because when you hope for something, it means you don't have it currently right now, right? If I hope for $1 million, I'm only hoping for that because I have it right now. You can't hope for something that you already have. Just like you can't hope hope if you already see, right? It's the same thing. Like an example of that is I could see myself running my own business and prospering and doing all this stuff, but I'm not currently doing that. So therefore I have hope. That's how faith works, and that's the first. If I'm not mistaken, that's a part of the first fruits of the first fruits of the Spirit, right? Because faith is that gift. You can't actually do anything without faith, or anything you do that lacks faith just won't be done because you don't believe it, right? So but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why do he yet hope for? Exactly. That's what I just finished explaining. Here's the point. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. With patience. So, because, my main hope is to be of the elect, right? I don't know if I'm of the elect or not. I'm sincere in my faith that I believe I'm of the elect, but I won't really know until I'm of the elect, until I'm in the chariots, Slake. So till then, I'm being patient. Day in and day out, patient, mentally and physically, and emotionally as well. You need patience in all aspects because you live in hell. And the scriptures say that with much wisdom comes much grief, right? And surely oppression makes a wise man mad. So you also need patience in your emotions, right? You also need patience in what you do in your body, physically, because sometimes you could do more than you actually are able to do, and that's not balance. And that's what patience. That's what being patient does. When you are more patient, you're more prone to being balanced. That's the end result of being patient, is being balanced, which is perfection. In other words, that's being of the elect, right? And then patience in your mind, man. Always thinking about the future. Yes, we are to always think about the future, but you need to also live in the now as well. I personally constantly fight with that, where I'm always constantly at the end, and the end. I'm at the end, and I kind of forget where I currently am right now. It's good to think about the future, but you can't stay there. So you need to be patient and come back to where you currently are, and be patient. So let's look up the word patience, even though I know probably most brothers that are watching this know it, but for edification's sake. Oops. Patience. Quality of being willing to bear adversities. So it's actually a quality, right? It's a quality to bear, being willing to bear adversity. Not a lot of people are willing to bear adversity. That's why the majority of the people on the planet are impatient, right? They don't have patience. They don't have patience. It's not something, being patient isn't for everybody. That's just something that I've come to a realization of. But being patient isn't for everybody. It's only for the few. A few select people can be patient, truly be patient, because you have to be willing to bear adversities, and people don't want to bear adversities. That's why people do drugs. That's why people over drink. That's why they take out their anger on other things than looking at themselves as to why this happened. Like it's everybody else's fault around you but yourself. Listen, man, like you have to take self-accountability. We're not in the kingdom yet. You have to take self-accountability, right? It says calm endurance of misfortune, suffering. Misfortune, suffering. It says patience, sufferance, permission, the quality of suffering or enduring, submission, also indulgence, leniency, slack, humility. That's right, because being patient, when you are patient, you're also being humble, because you're waiting. You're going to wait for the right time and then you'll strike. Or you'll wait for the right time and you'll get what you deserve. Whatever your situation may be, you have to wait. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to suffer. It just makes sense because our Lord Yahushua, which is the ultimate example, waited his whole life. He suffered his whole life. And he lived 33, he lived till, according to Esau's scholars, about 33 years old. Right? So he suffered his whole life. And he did it perfectly. He didn't mess up one bit. He did it perfectly. The master or the servant isn't greater than the master. So guess what? We have to suffer too. If you want to take part in the riches and the glory, or be partakers in the riches and the glory and the power, really, the power of Yahushua, okay? We have to be patient. We have to suffer. Day in and day out. Day in and day out. And don't get me wrong, I am a little passionate right now, but the Most High will lift the load here and there, because he also is balanced. So you're not always going to have bad days. Listen, I'm always angry every day, but certain moments in the day, I'm not angry at all, because I'm either reading the scriptures, studying, or for some rare occasion, my woman's being good to me, a rare occasion. Or I'm with the brotherhood, That's a beautiful thing. You can't always be angry, right? But every day, there's no day that goes by and I don't experience anger because of this kingdom, because of wickedness that flows all over this place and even within my own flesh. But moments within the day, the Most High does lift the load because he is balanced and you're being patient. So he will reward you each and every day. Right? So, anyways, so there's that. Basically having the quality to suffer. So it's not for everybody. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought. But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is in the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of Yahweh. That's Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai is the one making intercession between us, for us, to the Most High Yahweh. And that's why he's the mediator, the one and only mediator. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, to them who are called according to his purpose, the elect. All right, so with that, I'm going to close. I'm going to say, Kal Hala Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rukal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and Abad Babal, Kwam Yasha'Allah, and Shalom.